But the fact that you checked him in real time and he just had to sit there and eat it, it's just, they were puppets. They were puppets for the system. They were doing it because that was their job. That's how you get ahead in your career. You want to be the main guy at CNN. That's what you do. So I think you beat the fuck out of him in that debate. That debate was Mike Tyson's early fights. So you see the white dude with the muffin top who just gets flatlined in 15 seconds. That's what that was.
Dave Smith went on the Joe Rogan Experience, and Dave Smith and Joe Rogan together absolutely destroyed woke Chris Cuomo for just lying to people. I mean, we all know what Chris Cuomo did. Now he's, on the PBD podcast every once in a while. He's signed to PBD's network. Apparently he's turning over a new leaf and all that stuff. But we all know what Chris Cuomo did. And Joe Rogan and Dave Smith are not letting up on him at all. Let's get into this clip here where Joe Rogan and Dave Smith absolutely destroy Chris Cuomo. And like the title says of this video, they will never let Chris Cuomo live it down. Let's check it out.
Did you enjoy me giving the business to Chris Cuomo over that? That was one of my favorite moments of this year. That was a good one.
He was trying to do CNN outside of CNN. Mm-hmm. Like when he said, "I've never said that," and then they pull up the clip like immediately of him demonizing.
Shout out to Patrick Bet-David's crew, because they really had my back on that one.
Yes.
It's not like I didn't send them that clip before or anything, but they in real time had that ready to go.
They had a Jamie too.
Yeah. They had, everybody's got a Jamie now.
Not Jamie. There's only one Jamie.
There's only one Jamie, but there's a lot of knockoffs.
Yeah, a lot of knockoffs. But the fact that you checked him in real time and he just had to sit there and eat it, it's just, they were puppets. They were puppets for the system. They were doing it because that was their job. That's how you get ahead in your career. You want to be the main guy at CNN. That's what you do. And that's what they were doing.
The problem with that, though, is if you're going to go with the political landscape. So if you're someone like Chris Cuomo, or you're somebody like whoever, Joy Reid, any of these CNN, MSNBC woke hosts out there, you're going to do, like Joe Rogan is saying, you're going to do what's going to get you ahead. At that time, it was just spreading left-wing propaganda, just lies, just straight up propaganda. And he knew what he was doing. It's obvious that he knew what he was doing, especially now after signing to the PBD podcast and everything like that. But the problem with that is when the pendulum does swing in the other direction, when the wind changes direction, you're now going to be fired, and you're not going to be looked at as a moneymaker anymore. CNN is firing a bunch of people. MSNBC, Comcast is shopping around MSNBC to sell it because the ratings are so down. And now what are all these people going to do who have been puppets like Chris Cuomo at these companies? They're going to lose their jobs. Because what are they going to do? Just overnight, just boom, snap your fingers, flip a switch, and all of a sudden you have the complete opposite worldview, the complete opposite political view? People are going to catch on to that. They're not that stupid. They might give in to the propaganda every once in a while, the brainwashing a little bit, but if you're going to be that blatant about it, they're going to figure it out. So they have no choice but to fire these people, but to sell off these platforms. So there's a huge problem with that. I think we're now seeing the chickens come to roost. We haven't seen it yet. For the longest time, it was just like, oh, these media outlets just get to lie and spread propaganda, and they just continue to print money somehow. These hosts just get to lie to their audience, and nothing happens to them. Now we're finally seeing what happens to those people. We're finally seeing, like I said, the results of lying for all of these years. It's coming back to bite them now. I always say, fast money comes with slow problems. These people, Chris Cuomo, these other woke hosts out there, they lied to their audience in order to make fast money. They lied to their audience so that they can make more money, get ahead in their career, like Joe Rogan is saying. And now we're seeing the slow problems come. Now they're experiencing the slow problems that fast money comes with.
And now he's not doing it anymore. Good luck to him. I hope he does stay on an independent path and becomes an objective person. And he's made some strides towards that, I think. I think he's taken some lumps, and I think you beat the fuck out of him in that debate. That debate was Mike Tyson's early fights. So you see the white dude with the muffin top who just gets flatlined in 15 seconds. That's what that was.
I mean, look, man, and it's not really like a comment on me. It's not that I'm so amazing at debates. It's just like the argument here is so
You're pretty good
weak.
at debates. You're pretty good at it.
I
You're pretty
appreciate
fucking
that.
good at it.
I'm not bad at it.
But also,
I'm just right about
the
this.
Facts were on your side.
Yeah, I mean that's my superpower isn't that I'm like the smartest guy or the best at debates. It's just that like I'm right in what I'm arguing, and that makes it much easier. I got there was an organization that was pitching me on a debate, a 2-on-2 debate, which I don't really like doing 2-on-2 debates. I've done like I
too
think
many people talking.
It's too much. Yeah. One-on-one is the way to do it. But
if you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
They pitched me this like months after that. I think it was, if I'm not wrong, I think the topic was about whether Joe Biden should drop out of the race or not. And they pitched me that it would be a 2-on-2 debate against two people. I don't remember who were saying he should stay in. And it was going to be me and Chris Cuomo against them. And I told them, I was like, no, I will not be on his side. And like, I don't, I'm kind of over,
Yeah.
we had our thing. I gave him a beating. I think he deserved it. But I'm just like, listen, man, I'll team up with like a left winger on something I agree with. I'll team up with a right winger on something I agree with. I'll team up with like a moderate on something I agree with. But no, not the corporate media guy who was the #1 show at CNN. Like, I'm not on their side. Even if I'm on their side on this issue, I'm against them. And I know that this has probably been a theme of like every single time I'm on this show over the last 10 years or whatever it's been. But I just... And maybe it's a problem myself. I hate them so much. And I really think they deserve it. And it's not just that they lie about everything. It's like they lie about everything and then they have the nerve to morally judge us. Like if you just watch...
Yep. I just did a video. I don't know if I'm posting it before or after this one, but I did a video today on Destiny going on a podcast. And I said it in the video, he epitomizes the left wing. He laughed at the guy, the firefighter who was at the Trump rally who died due to the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. He was laughing at him. He was joking about it. He went on this podcast and double and triple quadrupled down on the fact that he laughed at it and he made fun of the guy for dying. I mean, a father got ripped out of his family for no fault of his own, just for supporting Donald Trump. And to laugh at the guy, I mean, that you're sick in the head. And then he goes on to say things like, well, the right wing has been doing that to my side for the longest time. What do you mean? The right wing has been wishing death on people because they support Kamala Harris or Joe Biden? Or I've never seen that. I don't see that often at all. Now, I'm sure there are some corners of the internet where there's extreme right wingers that do those things. But also, if one of the biggest left wing streamers, the mainstream left wing, is able to say that and get 10,000 concurrent viewers on YouTube every day, that's a whole lot different than some small corner of the internet with some extreme right wingers probably trolling doing the same thing. It's completely different. The only time I ever see right wingers or conservatives call for, people to get, I don't want to keep saying it, but for that to happen is if they do things with kids, which I think is pretty reasonable. Personally, I think it's pretty damn reasonable. I never see the right wing ever call for that to happen to somebody just because of their political affiliation or who they support. That doesn't happen. And he goes on to take the moral high ground. And that's exactly what Dave Smith is talking about. These people do crazy things. These people burn down cities, and then the left-wing media calls it fiery but mostly peaceful protest. And then J6 comes along, and I'm not defending it by any means. I wish it didn't happen because I feel like it gave the left wing more ammunition, and it would just be so much easier to destroy these leftist idiots if that didn't happen. I wish it didn't happen, but to say that is like the scariest moment in American history and they tried to overthrow democracy, it's like, dude, a couple of years ago, you guys are actually, it was that same year, you guys were trying to burn cities down because a criminal died. It's not the same. We are not the same. And to try and take the moral high ground like Dave Smith and Joe Rogan are talking about now, these people are lost, man. And that's just like, that's why I'm blackpilled on the whole thing. I don't think there's any saving this country. I don't think the divide could ever be mended. I just don't think it will ever happen.
Watch even just the last few weeks of the Trump election. They're not in the business of reporting the news. They're totally just in the business of making you feel like you're a bad person if you don't fall in line with the regime.
Right.
And, it's like all of us know, right? Everybody knows this. America has this giant war machine, right? Like we're just always at war. We're the most war-hungry country in the world. Even if we're taking a little bit of a break from a war, we'll fight 2 more proxy wars while we do that. America looks back at the 90s, Bill Clinton, as the time of peace and prosperity. We call it peace because we only fought a war in like Serbia and had a blockade around Iraq and were like bombing the crap out of Iraq with a few other military interventions in there too. The UN estimated
if you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
At Bill Clinton's sanction and bombing regime of Iraq, Okay, everyone just thinks of George H.W. Bush's war and W's war, but Bill Clinton was bombing Iraq and he had a full blockade around the country. The UN estimated that 500,000 children died of starvation or malnutrition due to the blockade. Now, I've heard people argue, by the way, that number is exaggerated. Maybe it wasn't 500,000. Maybe it was only 100,000. So that's the time that we consider peace. When we were just starving 100,000 children to death in Iraq. And you, everybody in the corporate media, are in the business. Every single one of those wars, you've sold them. Everyone, my entire life, the media has sold those wars. And you're going to morally look down on me? You're going to judge me? You're in the business of baby murder. Get the f out of here. You're looking down, judging an American because maybe I'm going to vote for Donald Trump, or maybe I dare to question the results of the last election. You, dude. And man.
And I mean, dude, Dave Smith is so based. What he just said, you're in the business of, I don't want to continue to say the words, but you're in the business of baby, that word that he said. In more ways than one. He was referring to the starving babies under the Clinton administration there. But I mean, also, the main thing that Kamala Harris ran on was the abortion topic. Like, you're trying to win an election on, and almost did. I mean, we're saying that Trump blew out the popular vote. He didn't win by that much at the end of the day. He won the popular vote, which is great. I didn't expect it, so it's awesome. But he didn't win by that much. Kamala Harris got a lot of votes. And she got a lot of votes on the premise of, I'm going to help you kill babies more. And Donald Trump won't allow you to do that. And that just seems like a very evil place to be for the country. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Joe Rogan and Dave Smith going off on Chris Cuomo here live on the Joe Rogan Experience.